we're still here. Sergeant Bitterroot. Oh shit! Right.
We can defend it this time.
I walked into a. I remember. Last time I walked into a bunkhouse full of named characters, and they all fucking scattered like roaches the moment I walked in. So I'm like, oh god, I need to talk to all of you. Please stop moving. And then they all scattered. I'm like, I'll never find them again. How will I ever keep these people straight?
Never seen you around before. What do you want?
You're a sniper?
What gave me away? The big gun, the shades, or the attitude?
The big gun.
Yup. A lot of people make that connection. Big gun. Sniper. Some people don't even need to ask.
Wow. Nice talking to you. Have you seen any serious combat here?
Not unless you count the fiends as serious. Gorobets keeps us inside the fence most of the time. Doesn't matter to me. I just shoot bad guys. Sooner or later, they'll move us out to the dam, though. That's when the shit gets nasty.
Nasty how?
Legion fights to win, and they're smart. Hell of a lot smarter than these crazy fiends. But I don't feel bad about shooting Legion boys. Fiends, on the other hand, sometimes I get pangs of conscience. Not often, but sometimes.
First I've heard about a conscience in a while.
Yeah, doesn't sound like me at all, right? But it happens. Some cute little junkie bitch, so fucked up she doesn't even know that she's the bad guy. And I've got a headshot her. Makes me think. Might just be sex, though. I see some cute little number and I'd rather get in her pants. So maybe I'm a stone-cold bitch after all.
Goodbye.
Yeah. Try not to get killed.
It just suggests that you're just gonna blow right past the obvious reveal of her sexuality. Be like, hey, how about we go on a date? I like tough women. Joke's on you, I'm gay too.
I'm Bitterroot, first Recon. You got a reason to talk to me?
Not too friendly, are you?
Guess not. I don't mean nothing by it. You really want to talk to somebody, try 10 of spades. He's always got plenty to say. Me? I'm here to do my job. For now, that job is shooting fiends.
Bitterroot. You have an unusual name.
You trying to start trouble? Or do you really not know where I got that name?
I didn't mean to offend. You don't have to tell me if you'd rather not.
It's a con name. You know, the great cons. That's what my parents were. I figured I grew up around the bastards. They owed me a name after all they put me through.
What happened to your parents?
They're dead. Got themselves killed at Bitter Springs. Served them right if you ask me.
Losing your parents must have been hard for you. I'm sorry.
You're sorry? Well, that makes one of us. Bitter Springs was the best thing that ever happened to me. Best thing that ever happened to my parents, too. They were as bad as the rest. Worse, maybe.
You don't really mean that, do you?
Don't I? Mister, you never met my parents. My dad, he got himself fucked up every chance he got. Always started with folk for no reason. Hell, he was the one who taught me to shoot. You know how? By taking pot shots at NCR, and not just soldiers. Civilians, too. Even kids. Then he'd get high with his buddies and swap tales about the folk they killed. Bunch of animals. And my mom? A couple of times she tried to sell me to some waster just to score some jet. Even the other cons said she was useless. Only reason they kept her around was because she was a... how'd my dad say it? A smoking piece of ass.
How did you survive the massacre?
Guess I could tell a pretty good story if I had a mind. But the truth is, I don't know. Just got lucky. They brought me to Daughtry after the battle. He was just a captain back then. Guess he saw something in me. Knew I didn't belong with the cons. Maybe he felt bad, too. About how his men killed my folks. I told him he did me a service, but he didn't believe me. Still doesn't. He's a good man, Daughtry. Doesn't act like it sometimes, I know. but he didn't have to take me in.
So your name, it comes from Bitter Springs.
You're not fully grown till you've taken a beat down. Everybody gathers around and hits you till you're damn near dead. After that, if you haven't begged for mercy, you get to choose a new name. One you'll use for the rest of your life. When NCR slaughtered the cons of Bitter Springs, I hadn't got my beat down yet. I was still too young. The way I see it, Bitter Springs was my beat down. So afterward, I gave myself a name. It's all I got from the cons. It's all I ever want. Yeah, that's probably best.
How long have you been with the first Recon?
While, I guess. I don't keep too careful track of time. I like to keep things simple. Just focus on now. That's why they made me a sniper. You let your mind wander back a ways and you lose sight of what's in front of your eyes. Good way to miss a mark.
Your father's your commanding officer? Is that allowed?
Yeah, look, he's not my real father. He just looked after me for a while. It's a long story. I'd get tired of talking before it was through.
Where can I find some work around here?
You a merc? Well, then I guess you want to talk to my father, Major Daughtry. He's our CO.
What do you know about the Great Cons?
They're scum. Lazy, trumped-up raiders. Most of the time they're drunk or high, and when they're not shooting chems, they're selling them. Used to have a settlement up at Bitter Springs till they pissed off NCR and got slaughtered for their trouble. A lot of us got killed at Bitter Springs. A lot of them, I mean. My parents died too.
Bye.
All right, goodbye.
We won't go quiet.
Is that him?
The
Nope,
Legion can
Sterling.
count on that.
Betsy. Raul. 10 of spades. Yeah, I talked to him last time. I remember him.
Nelson's back in our hands. I hope
He's got
we
the
can finish this
stammer.
time. Howdy. Name's Sterling, first Recon. Can't say I've seen you before. I'd remember if I had.
That hat looks absolutely fucking huge on his head. Look at it. Oh, it's so high and wide. Oh, it's a kick. Alright. You remember everyone who passes through here?
Got a good memory for faces, landmarks and such too. Comes with practice, that's all, and a lot of scouting from place to place.
Interesting rifle you have there. Lever action, right?
I call her the Long Carabine. Didn't always have the scope. I added that myself. Been shooting with her so long, couldn't bring myself to toss her away. Would have felt guilty to part with the old girl. The other snipers used bolt action, but Gorbets reckoned it didn't matter none if I was different, so long as I can hit my targets.
How long have you been stationed here?
Going on 6 months now, but I reckon we'll be moving out soon enough. Can't talk about the details. Till then, we'll man the towers and keep an eye on the fiends. We've had more than our share of trouble from their direction. Whole thing smells of Caesar to me. Of course, that's just guesswork. But I'd still bet a few caps he's stirring up the locals against us.
You always been first Recon?
Used to be a ranger. One of the first they sent out east back before we took the dam. Observation and reconnaissance. We took the lay of the land, checked out the locals, and kept ourselves inconspicuous. A couple friends of mine were the first to scout the dam. That was back in '73, if I recall. A lot of those rangers are dead now. Vegas always chewed men up. It's just a little more literal nowadays.
Why'd you leave the Rangers?
Well, that wasn't really a matter of choice. Got myself caught by legionaries up near Malpay. They had themselves some fun with me. Mangled my hands and feet pretty good. Wasn't much good with the pistol after that. Wasn't gonna be trekking across the waste on any more long scouts either.
Malpace? Fuck. I missed this pronunciation of it, I think. How'd you manage to escape Malpace?
Caesar's boys figured I wasn't going anywhere after what they'd done to me. So they didn't bother tying me up. I crawled out of there on my elbows and knees. Must have looked a sight. Then I rolled down an embankment into the Colorado. Guess I had a mind to drown rather than give Caesar's boys the satisfaction of killing me. But a couple rangers happened to be watching from across the river. They jumped on in and pulled me out of there. Lucky break, they said. Always a pleasure. Keep yourself safe.
It's a bit like the other place where you kind of have a chance to introduce yourself to everyone.
Got a second to talk, boss?
Ah, hi, yes, hello, sure, what's on your mind?
Meeting Corporal Sterling. Well, it kind of got me thinking. Here's a guy that's been beat all to hell, right? I mean, he could have retired from the service, but instead he signs back on and does what he can. You think he did the right thing?
Fuck the second option. You don't owe them anything. Ew, I don't like these options. I don't like the idea that he doesn't contribute anything because he's injured when there's other things that are non-combat roles. I don't like the idea that he's just a drain on resources, but I also don't like the idea that he owes the NCR. So I guess I'd go with... I think it's good he's so devoted to his duty. More people should act that way.
You think so, boss? Because I remember a time when a lot of people stuck to their duty no matter what. It ended with nuclear bombs falling on my hometown.
You talking about the Great War? What do you remember about it?
I grew up in a place called Hidalgo Ranch, just outside Mexico City. It wasn't much, just a bit of a farm, with a house for 3 generations of Tejadas. I wasn't the best behaved kid. I was quick with my hands, with a pistol or a wrench. And I wasn't afraid to get into fights over it. I never killed anybody, but I had my share of run-ins with the police. Mostly my family kept me in line. This was before the war. We were far enough away from Mexico City when the bombs fell that we missed the worst of it. But things got bad quick. Just a few days after Mexico City was vaporized, refugees started pouring down the road to our ranch. We helped who we could, but there were so many. Eventually, my father started turning people away before we ran out of food. Things got violent. My father and I got our guns, and we drove them off. About 24 men came back in the night after we'd gone to sleep. They set fire to the ranch house and barred the doors from the outside. My whole family was trapped inside. I smelt the smoke, and I got myself and my little sister Rafaela out through a window. But everyone else, my parents, my grandmother, my 2 brothers, and 2 of my sisters, all died. Rafaela and I ran. We were pursued by some of the men who attacked our home, but I was always a good shot. The ones who came after us, I killed. The rest, I left be. I had to take care of Rafaela, not throw my life away on revenge.
You can't think it was your fault. No one can stand against a dozen armed men all alone. I can. I literally can.
I know that, boss. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm just getting sentimental in my old age. Anyways, forget it. Just wanted that off my chest.
Just a little funny in the context of a game where you definitely can take on like a dozen people at once. All that from talking to Sterling. I wonder if there's like a variety of characters that trigger that.
Nelson's back in our hands. I hope we can defend it this time.
But it was definitely a conversation just about Sterling specifically. That was mostly more interesting than what Sterling said. I was very much not expecting that much of a hook there. That's neat. Little Buster. How many characters are here? Well, you didn't put that out properly.
Let me guess. You got work for me, right? Well, you're too late. I just quit the bounty trade. As soon as I pick up some caps that Daughtry owes me, I'm out of this scrapyard.
Are you supposed to be famous or something?
Well, shit. Feel free to stick a knife in the old ego. Thought I made a name for myself around here. Guess that's as good a reason as any to quit this stinking trade. No glory. No easy money, no women, and no glory. Shit. I'd settle just for the women.
Why does Daughtry owe you caps?
Because I killed a couple of marks for him, that's why. You ever hear of Jackson? Or Night Terror?
I take it they were fiends?
Damn right they were. And they were good, too. Till I popped a couple shells in their assholes. Bam. Dead. Finished. Over. See, somebody gives me a job, I do it. Maybe I complain a little here and there, but my shit gets done.
You were just sleeping in spiked armor. How long have you been a bounty hunter?
Oh, shit, I don't know. Gotta be at least a month. Longer than I last at most jobs.
You've worked a lot of different trades?
Oh, yeah. A lot. Like before I was a bounty hunter, I worked as a caravan guard. You'd think that was a cakewalk, right? Wrong. Crazy bastards expected me to wake up at dawn. Forget it. It's about 2 hours after this guy hits the sack. And I need at least 10, 12 hours of sleep to do my job. Price of excellence.
I've been known to hunt a few bounties myself.
Well, hey, the field's wide open now that I'm gone. Probably lots of people looking to get in once they hear I quit.
What are you gonna do now?
Simple. Gonna make myself some easy money. I got a plan. Once I get my caps from Daughtry, I'm going to head on over to Gomorrah and win big at cards. There's not as many people playing at Gomorrah, so that means I've got better odds of winning big. I got this figured out.
I got this super figured out. You'll never believe how fucking smart I am. I got it all on top of it. Why'd you quit the trade?
See, I thought the bounty hunting trade would be easy money, but it turns out it's hard work, so screw it. Also, I ran into this Mark who was a little too tough for me. I mean, I could have taken him. But with this guy, it might have cost me some bad burns or an ass rape. I'm all for risking my life,
Whoa.
but I'm a little sensitive about my asshole.
Wow. That line just came blazing through.
Hey, yeah. Next time you see me, maybe I'll be rolling in a shitload of caps, right?
Don't say shitload after that line. Sir. Bro. Okay.
Hey.
He's a rando. Starting to wonder if this town even had any randos. There's so many fucking named characters in here. I just don't know where half the named characters are gonna go overall. Don't think I'll ever be confident that I found them all. They're just all jammed in here. This guy stands out so much that I'm shocked he's not a named character. Big chaotic supplies zone. Requisitions. And whatnot. That's not the right... I don't think that's the right word. I feel like I know a term. I feel like I know the term for what I should call that place, but I'm just... it's not registering. Fire's a bit fucking high, you think? Wow, was every named character in the same building together?
Glad you're with us.
Okay, an MP is not more NPC-ish. Yeah, they might have clustered everyone in one building for the most part. There's a lot to this place. I don't think anything I found was, like, actionable, though. Yeah, my most recently listed quest is still ED. The followers of the apocalypse wanted to know about that guy. And that was, also up in town. I wish the objective more clearly listed which person was which, as far as the two markers. Whoa. What did I press to do that? That was startling because I wasn't really pressing anything, so I didn't know why it zoomed out.
Welcome aboard.
I didn't hit the mouse wheel. You have to hit it a fair bit to get it all the way out here, going at that rate. Yeah, I don't know. There definitely could be a quest that points me here. That comes up later. Terminal building. I don't think I currently have anything to do here. I don't think any of the people gave me a quest. They just kind of gave me their backstories one by one. So I'm guessing this all comes up in some context. Probably the war that's being hinted at all the time.
Patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter.
Walter Hornsby.
Boyd's in there with a prisoner right now. Boy, is she pissed.
Boyd, is she pissed? Haha.
You stick out like a sore thumb around here. You sure you're in the right place?
Okay, found more people. Who are you?
Not big on reading name tags, huh?
You don't have
That's okay.
one.
My name is long and difficult to pronounce. Ready for it? It's Boyd. Lieutenant Boyd to my friends. Colonel Shu has me handling the policing duties for the base. I've told him he could make my job a whole lot easier if he would just let me shoot anyone who talks back to me. But you know how colonels can be.
You need any help?
Yeah, so far this has gone exactly as expected. Poorly. But with the work you've done for NCR already, you might be just what I've been looking for. We captured an honest-to-God centurion of Caesar's Legion recently.
Man, I don't like being described that way because I don't even like the NCR. But I get the feeling I wouldn't like anyone. Is that a big deal?
Better believe it. Everybody in Caesar's Legion from Caesar on down will kill themselves before they can be captured. They're so twitchy they'd probably do it if you reached out to hug them. But here's this guy, who's an elite commander in their army, and he just gives himself up, even as his men are slitting their own throats around him.
What do you think it means?
Well, I don't know about you, but to me that sounds like a man who's willing to cooperate. Except he hasn't. Only times he speaks up are to insult you. He's a real prick, by the way. And I'm supposed to get information out of this guy.
Have you tried calling him hurtful names?
Yes, and one time I thought I saw a tear when I told him his uniform was unflattering. But I think he just got some dust in his eye.
How about a truth drug?
Don't have anything like that. Sounds nice. Like the kind of thing I'd want to take home and use on my husband. But even if we did, I don't know that I'd be comfortable using it. If there's any risk of overdose, it's not worth it. Asshole's too valuable.
Why don't you just beat your prisoner senseless?
I like the way you think. Have I said that yet? Problem is that the NCR frowns on using that sort of tactic. There's some restrictions still in place from President Tandy's administration. But here's my favorite thing about you. You're not in the NCR. Plus, for all this guy knows, you're completely insane. That's a winning combination.
Not being in the NCR is also my favorite thing about myself. Don't get too excited about the way I think, though. I literally didn't have any other dialogue options in that point. So you want me to do what you can?
I think if you rough him up enough and really put some fear into him, he'll sing like a choir boy. So let's do this. When you're ready, I'll go in and give you a little intro. Then I leave the room and you make him regret the day he was born. We go back and forth a couple times until either he talks or he can't move his jaw anymore. Either way, we've had our entertainment for the day.
I object to the use of violence against prisoners of war.
Ah, tear my heart out, why don't you? Well, maybe you can find a way to play with his mind, get him out of his comfort zone. People lose their heads and say things they regret, especially if they underestimate you. This dickhead would underestimate a nuclear missile. Plenty of ways to skin a cat, as they say. Hey, what if we skinned him? Bet he wouldn't be so smug then.
Oh boy. Okay, let's get started.
That's the spirit. Okay, I'll go in and have a word with him. Then I'll call you in.
We just had this whole conversation like 5 feet away from him. Did she just use the door? Oh, it's glass.
Lieutenant, I was just thinking about you.
That's so.
I was just thinking about that pretty neck of yours.
How sweet.
I was thinking about how it would look with a Legion slave collar on it.
I'll pass.
Do you know what I love about our slave collars, Lieutenant?
If you love them, maybe you should try one on.
I love how tightly they fit. I train my men to make sure the slave's flesh bulges a bit around the top and bottom. Know why?
It's all the rage in fashion circles?
Not quite. If you fit it just right, their body never gets used to the feeling of wearing it. It cuts in just enough when they swallow or turn their head to remind them who they belong to. And it's that constant reminder that keeps them docile.
In that case, maybe you'd better save the collar you were gonna give me.
Oh? For whom?
For a friend of mine you're about to meet. My friend isn't very docile.
And who is this friend of yours?
You know all the rules the NCR instituted to protect enemy prisoners of war?
Of course.
My friend doesn't. Oh, and Silus? If you resist at all, I'll personally blow your brains out. Come on in.
Silus.
It's all yours. I'll be back in a bit to see how you're getting along. And I'll need you to surrender your weapons before you go in. You can pick them up from the locker on your way out.
Saying that in front of him kind of defangs the whole thing, doesn't it? Hi. Who's into pup play? Yes, you are. All into dog collars and taking people for walks?
What an ugly little worm you are. What pile of excrement did the lieutenant pluck you from, worm?
Wow. Didn't really nail the voice acting on this one, did you? You smell like excrement, so there.
I must admit that a conversation with an imbecile may be far worse than the kind of torture I was anticipating. But somehow I think I'll manage.
You're about to tell me everything you know, Silus.
Of course, of course. All you had to do was ask. I'll tell you everything I know. Let's see. I know that you're a brainless cretin. I know that you're wasting your time. I know the lieutenant is going to be disappointed in you. And I know that by this time next month, the streets of New Vegas will be decorated with the decaying heads of NCR soldiers. Is there anything else you wanted to know?
Well, I'll be right back.
Take your time.
Yeah. Oof.
Watch out!
I tricked you. Also, this guy's not even confined. I'm not actually good. I'm not any good at this. Whoa! But I can do that.
Watch out!
Oh my goodness. Oh, he's not doing well.
Alright, you can stop for a sec. Whoa, easy there. You're supposed to rough him up a little, not kill him.
He's
Why don't you
fine.
Step outside a minute. Let off some steam.
Watch out!
Hello.
My friend doesn't like you, Silus. I don't know how much longer I can keep him under control.
You think this'll make me talk? A beating? This is the best you can do?
Not just any beating, Silus. A savage beating. A beating that you'll be reminded of every time you feel pain from now on. When my friend's done with you, you won't have any of your teeth left. You'll be drinking your food through a straw. Your ribs will never heal properly, and it will hurt every time you breathe. It'll be like your collars, Silus. Impossible to forget.
Go to hell.
Huh. Not the sort of wit I've come to expect from you, Silus.
You're getting nothing from me.
I'm getting entertainment. That's something. So what's it gonna be? Are you gonna spill your guts to me? Or am I gonna let my friend the maniac back in here for some playtime? Silus. Silent treatment, huh? Have it your way. Come on back in. I think he misses you. Oh, and let me check you for weapons one more time. For your safety as well as his.
He just had to go and remind me of all the war crimes. I'm like, oh right, these people are hunting me down all the time. Is he not allowed to swing back or something? My character is so weak at unarmed. Why is he still in full armor even?
Been doing this longer than you, pal.
The ragdoll is incredible. Oh, he's about to escape.
I guess old guys are tougher than we look, huh?
Enough, this is pointless. I'm dead to the Legion either way, I'll tell you what I know. But you should know that Caesar has always kept his own counsel. He never reveals anything that would make him vulnerable. My knowledge will not prevent the inevitable. This camp will be ash within months. Maybe weeks.
I'll be the judge of that. Let me hear what you got to say.
Something is wrong with Caesar. Something he is attempting to hide from his men. But it was obvious before we set out on this last mission. For 3 days we awaited his order to dispatch us. 3 days. But he hid in his tent, refusing to give orders, complaining of headaches. He looks different now than he used to. His face is sunken, sickly. But any questioning of his health enrages him.
There must be more you can tell me.
There is one other thing that may interest you. I know that Caesar has planted a spy here. Every night, details of NCR troop movements are broadcast from a radio on this base to Caesar's camp. The spy has been here a long time, since before the entire conflict began. He's an officer. If I knew who he was, I would tell you. If I escape and he's alive to report it, the Legion would hunt me down. But like I said, none of this information will change the outcome for you. No force can hold back the tide of the Legion.
Well now. A spy is useful information if it's real. There it is. Yep, not normally crazy about fighting prisoners and all that, but the Legion is just actively hunting me down. Just doesn't seem worth it. So where'd she actually go? She just up and leave in the middle of this situation? Uh-oh. I don't even see a quest listing.
Nelson's back in our hands. Hope we can defend it this time.
Where did she go? We're in the middle of a quest. Alright, well if nothing else I know something about there being a spy nearby. I go there. Back to poking around, I guess.
Hey.
He's a rando. Yep. Ah! 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 Fuck! Christ, calm down. What the fuck, game? That was quite the fucking trigger, jeez. I'm just walking around. Mixed. Okay, let's not. God damn it. I didn't opt into that. That sucked. Talk about. Nope. Just bringing up various objectives now. Talk about the value of having the game stop you with a cutscene for those kinds of conversations. The threshold between them saying halt and them shooting you is about 2 steps, which you are already doing if you walked into their range. That was unnecessary, jeez. Usually you need to at least like open a door or something for the game to get that mad at you. I didn't even shoot back, it was my dudes. Still feels strange to me that she just like up and disappeared. It makes the whole quest feel weirdly incomplete. But I guess we now know that there's a spy somewhere around here, so if we ask around we might get a clue of who they are, but it's someone who's an officer. It's supposedly someone who's been here since before this conflict started. There you are.
That was fun to watch. I'd have you do it again, but I'd probably get in trouble. This'll do the NCR a lot of good, so you should be proud. Here's the standard fee. Plus I threw in the price of a good show on the strip. That's from me personally. You can beat up my prisoners anytime.
Goodbye.
Yep. See you around.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, yeah, we'll talk to these guys next time. Yeah, a bit of a are we the baddies moment, but the with how much the Legion is actively hunting me down, it's kind of hard to give them grace.